Monster Hunter was a series I've heard about plenty of times over the years, and it was always something I was pretty interested in playing because it has such a dedicated fan base that talks about the series like it's the second coming of Jesus. So back in 2022, I decided to pick up Monster Hunter World on sale for a couple bucks to see what all the hype was about. I played it for about 5 hours and never touched it again, simply because it has such a massive learning curve as a new player, and I felt like I would never be able to catch up to everyone who's been playing since the original. Fast forward to January 2024, with the announcement trailer for Wilds releasing and Capcom pushing for players to return to World, I figured I would buckle down, pick a weapon that I really enjoy playing, and give the game a second chance. And now I can certainly say that I'll die happy with no regrets, because after putting in a little bit of time and effort, I can honestly say that this game lives up to all the hype and then some. So sit back, grab a potion, and relax as I take you on a wild ride through the world of Monster Hunter. So if it isn't exactly clear yet what the premise of the game is, well, you basically just hunt big, scary monsters. There is an overarching story goal of figuring out why the Elder Dragons are migrating to what's called the New World, which is where this game takes place, but to be honest, it's pretty boring and it really just exists to give you a reason to hunt down monsters. The truth is though, this is the type of game you play strictly for the gameplay. Speaking of gameplay, let's dive right into this, starting with the combat. In Monster Hunter World, there are 14 different weapons to choose from, and I'm going to be diving deep into some of my favorite ones, as well as some I think are just cool, by giving a little summary of the weapon, its strengths, its weaknesses, etc. I normally wouldn't ever do this, simply because of how much time it's going to take, but each of these weapons is so unique in its own right, that it wouldn't be fair to just generalize every single weapon into one style of combat, because they all offer such a drastically different playstyle that greatly changes how you approach every single encounter. With no particular order in mind, we're going to start with the Gun Lance, simply because it's my personal favorite weapon. The Gun Lance is a defense-oriented weapon with a variety of ranged and melee attacks that can be masterfully interwoven to perform powerful blast combos. Although your mobility is relatively low compared to other weapons, Gun Lance offers a great evade that allows you to quickly shuffle up to enemies. Thanks to the shield, you have the option of easily tanking the most formidable foes the game has to offer. Although it comes with a massive learning curve and it isn't the most powerful weapon in the game, it offers a fun, flashy playstyle that allows for easy tanking and satisfying combos. Up next is the Greatsword. This is an absolute classic weapon that can be seen across practically every single fantasy RPG in existence due to its tremendous popularity, but in Monster Hunter, it's completely unlike anything you've ever experienced before. In Monster Hunter, the Greatsword is a close-range weapon with low mobility. Although it attacks about as fast as an old man gets hard, it makes up for its sluggish nature with an exorbitant amount of damage. It greatly rewards timing and precision with massive hits and extremely gratifying combos. This weapon is perfect for someone that either loves a slow, calculated playstyle, or someone who just wants to unga bunga the whole game with a comically large sword. For our next contestant, we'll be talking about the Hunting Horn. This is technically a support weapon that's used to provide buffs such as stamina or attack bonuses, but it can still be used just as effectively on offense as any other weapon. It's on the slower side, but you can land massive sweeping hits as well as big bonks, all while playing notes and buffing your team. This makes it an extremely difficult weapon to play, as you have to find a balance between buffing and attacking. But with a little bit of practice, you'll become a very valuable and welcome addition to any hunting party. Last but not least, we've got the Heavy Bowgun. The Heavy Bowgun is one of only 3 ranged weapons in the game. It sacrifices a good bit of mobility in exchange for some serious firepower. This one isn't necessarily hard, but rather slightly tedious to play, as there's several different ammo types you need to juggle between in order to maximize your efficiency, such as but not limited to cluster bombs and wyvern ammo. This comes with its own downside, being that you need to craft said ammo yourself as it's not unlimited. However, in terms of benefits, there aren't any crazy combos you need to pull off for huge numbers, and being ranged makes attacking and evading much easier. With that in mind, this is all around a great choice for hunters looking for an easy to play ranged DPS option. So that was just a little taste of what you can expect from Monster Hunter World. Like I said earlier, there are 14 weapons which are each just as unique as the 4 I briefly discussed, but we would be here for a very long time if I went through each individual one. Now that weapons are out the way, we can finally discuss what the actual monster hunting experience is like. Simply put, the immersion is unbelievable, because this game does an outstanding job of actually making you feel like a hunter tracking down its prey. Whenever you start a hunt, you first have to track down your prey using clues they left behind. This can be footprints, scales, feathers, gashes, mud tracks, etc. You have to manually search for these markings in order to catch the trail of whatever creature it is you're trying to track, because the game doesn't simply just tell you exactly where to look. And once you finally reach your target, you realize that you aren't a big bad superhuman or some anime protagonist or whatever other bullshit. You're simply just a very average, regular person with a large hunk of steel, and it's your job to take out this creature that's bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, and sometimes even smarter than you. When you come toe to toe with your first Anjanath, this is where the hunt truly begins, because now it's predator versus predator in a battle to the death. Hunting these monsters is no small feat. Combat in this game consists entirely of careful planning, patience, and reflexes, because there is no overpowered weapon that's going to one-shot the monster. You have to strategically break bones, stagger the creature to open it up for attack, mount it for big burst damage, and dodge incoming attacks, all while managing your health, stamina, and weapon sharpness. Fights will typically last for several phases, with hunts sometimes taking up to 20 minutes to complete as you chase your prey through a beautiful, sprawling, overgrown ancient forest teeming with life, a rocky desert wasteland devoid of vegetation, or a dark, eerie pit filled with toxic fumes, poisons, and the bone piles of any creature unlucky enough to end up here. Each phase forces you to constantly re-strategize and adapt to changes within the environment during the entire runtime of your hunt. Although the monster will become progressively weaker, it still wants to survive just as much as you do, so don't ever think you can let your guard down. Eventually, however, you will break its spirit, resulting in the creature limping away to retreat to its nest and take a nap. Unfortunately for them, this will be the last nap they ever take. You ready your weapon, prepare your final blow, and end the hunt. And I shit you not when I say that this is how every single fight in Monster Hunter plays out. It's a ruthless, non-stop battle between two predators fighting for survival. Sometimes even a third will join in on the fight and engage in a turf war, offering you a brief moment of respite from the chaos. If you like what you're seeing so far, consider hitting that like and subscribe, and I might even give you a really passionate kiss on the lips as I look into your eyes and tell you how much I... Anyway, you're probably asking yourself, what the hell was the point of killing an innocent creature that's just trying to survive based on pure instinct and did literally nothing wrong at all? Because I know I sure did, and to that I say, I have no freaking clue lore-wise. It's actually kind of messed up, to be honest, but in terms of gameplay, you get some cool, shiny, new materials. In Monster Hunter, your gear is almost entirely crafted using materials gained from either capturing or killing monsters. So in order to progress, some dirty work has to be done. There's a weapon and armor set that goes with every single big monster in the game, of which there are 37 in the base game and 71 total including Iceborne. In Monster Hunter World, there are tons of different game modes. You have expeditions, which lets you go to one of several open world zones to basically just do whatever the hell you want, whether that's simply just collecting plants, bugs, and ores, or rendering your destination of choice as an ecological dead zone by murdering everything for the lulz. There's also quests and investigations, which are very similar to expeditions, except you have a specific objective and a time limit. And finally, events, which are just limited time quests that offer unique rewards. My only complaint is that multiplayer is needlessly complicated, as you all need to view every cutscene in a mission before you can join each other's game. To briefly go over biomes, you have the three I sort of mentioned earlier during that super dramatic hunt sequence, being the Ancient Forest, Wildspire Waste, and Rotten Vale, as well as the Coral Highlands and Elder's Recess. Iceborne brings 2 more, being Hoarfrost Reach and the Guiding Lands, which is the in-game zone of Monster Hunter World, where you can find new monsters, gatherables, and special crafting materials. Also, cool little detail, each biome has its own dynamic ecosystem, as well as a day-night cycle. There's also, of course, the main hub Astera, which has everything you need, such as the smithy, where you craft and upgrade weapons and armor, the provisions stockpile, where you can purchase hunting supplies, quest boards to accept missions, and the canteen to eat food. There's also the ecological researcher, which I briefly want to go over because I just really like the implementation of this NPC. Basically, this is who all your monster research goes to. Anytime you hunt a monster or gather its tracks, scales, feathers, whatever, you get research towards that monster. As you gather more research, you unlock special bonuses that make hunting said monster a whole lot more efficient. At level 1, you gain guidance toward the next track. Level 2 gives you guidance to the monster's location, and level 3 shows you the monster's destination and status on your map. You also get a field guide that shows you the monster's weak points, how many you've hunted and captured, the largest and smallest one you've found, as well as its rewards. I really love this guy, not only because the information and benefits he offers serve an actual practical purpose when hunting monsters as opposed to just being cool lore, but also because it greatly increases your immersion, making you truly feel like a hunter that takes time to prepare and study their prey for its strengths and weaknesses. And there you have it, that right there is Monster Hunter World summed up. Overall, this is an incredible game filled with so much content and replayability that you would have to literally be an airplane in order to be bored. It offers the most immersive combat gameplay I've ever experienced in a video game, and as I sink more time into the game every single day, it continues to impress me with the quality of its content. I would honestly say that it's a must-purchase game, even if you've never tried Monster Hunter before, and it gets even better with a couple of hunting buddies. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.